you know. But it's just really weird that, you know, years ago, that's what you did. You just look for a phone and.
Didn't that bug you when phones came into vogue? And I think my kids were in high school. Didn't it bug you to see a kid walking around with a phone?
Yeah. It bugs me. It still bugs me today to see everybody walking around with a phone.
Yeah.
Because now you gotta have. Now see the thing. Here's something. The thing is, if you invented something, you know, that beeped and stuff, so that you would know that people are not paying attention and they're just walking around, you know, like that girl that fell into the fountain at the mall where she was reading her phone and stuff. So yeah.
Do tell.
Hey, welcome again to another stimulating version of Old Black Men Conversation. I am your co-host, David H. Dudley III, a.k.a. Sweet Sunny, a.k.a. Sunny D, a.k.a. Cakey, a.k.a. Baker. And you are?
The real Cliff Barnes. Still. And I hope I will continue to be. And you, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm working on a book of knowledge. I need a word that rhymes with gesundheit.
What?
Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist. We'll get back to that later. Let's do this. All right.
You are?
Oh. I am Gary Green, street philosopher.
You know, I'm ecstatic to see that you are here as a street philosopher because I really wanted to know, in your opinion,
Band-Aid.
I'm going to bring some WD-40.
To the Isley Brothers.
To the Isley Brothers?
Yeah.
The ones that are still around are getting older every day. In terms of what happened,
Yeah.
what didn't happen that you were expecting to happen?
Well, the one overriding question in my mind is how the hell old is Mr. Big? How old is Ronald? Because I see that the corporation, the Isley Brothers, was formed in 1953.
Mm-hmm.
So how the hell old is Ronald? Because I was born in 1949.
I was born in 1950.
Okay, so the corporation Isley, did it only start with the Isley Brothers we know now, or was it?
The Isley Brothers. The Isley Brothers we know now are not the Isley Brothers that started the corporation.
Okay.
With the exception of Ronald.
Okay.
Rudolph is still alive, and he is now suing his brother Ronald for copyright infringement. But my question is, how the hell old is Ronald?
Well, I'll research that.
I'd have to say late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
That's
serious. Within give or take 10 years, I would go with
because if
late 80s.
If in 1953 they was old enough and, you know, to form a corporation and eventually their own label, TNEC. So I would have to say they had to been in their late teens, early 20s, and their early 50s. So I was born in 1950. So I'm in my 70s. So I would figure that the oldest one, which I don't know which one was oldest of the three that were originally, you know, the Isley Brothers, but I would have to say in '90s.
So when did you first get into the Isley Brothers? How old were you?
I was in high school,
I was in junior high.
but I had heard of them. But you see, before high school, I was living with my aunt in Moses Lake. So a lot of the stuff that I heard was of their generation. So
Okay.
the Isleys were sort of their generation, but sort of weren't.
Okay, so I guess, how old did you think they were you in high school? Or how do you think Ron was when you were in high
I
school?
never thought about it.
Oh, so they were just the Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. I'm going to go with Cliff, late 80s.
Maybe even early '90s.
Maybe even early 90s, because the last time I saw him at the concert, I was like, I hope the oxygen bottle is nearby, because, you know, he's not going to get too far.
Well, I was,
You
yeah.
know.
I remember I had to have been 12-ish when I first heard of the Isley Brothers, this old heart of mine.
Mhm.
And yeah, because I had a paper route, so I had to have been about 12 when I first heard of them.
I'm going to go with late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you really need to know specifically, I'll look it up. By the way, street philosopher, I'm not claiming I know everything, but what I do is I coalesce the vapors of the human existence. So I strive to try to make life understandable for human beings. So if you really want to know, I'll do a little bit of outreach and try to find out. I'll get back with you last week, and then we'll pick it up from
Wait, get back to you last week?
there. You too.
And that's what I like about the street philosopher. He goes back and forth between the future and the past.
So he has no sense of time.
Yeah, he's not into time.
Ooh.
You.
No, I am into time, but not the way you judge time.
This
Like
is true.
jumping between multiverses, it's a little different because time flows differently depending on what universe you are. See, we're limited by the speed of light, so we can't go very far very fast,
None of us ever did.
you know. So the trick is jump in and jump out.
Yeah, light is pretty fast.
Yeah,
Light be moving. Light don't mess around.
but the dark is faster, and so that's what I'm dealing with. The dark. The dark came first.
Are you afraid of the dark?
I'm afraid of what comes out of the dark.
What comes out of the dark?
There's no telling that because
Yeah.
it's dark. So that's what you fear, what may be in the dark.
But that's the human in me because I've lost all my natural instincts, right, to sense stuff. So human beings, only thing that makes us different from other animals on this planet, we have opposing thumbs. And we think that makes us genius. It doesn't. We're really pretty stupid. I'll be the first to say, I know I'm stupid. But we think we're better, so we tend to abuse the other life forms on this planet. There's only one planet
And
that
each
I know
other.
of. And this is it. So why do we keep effing it up?
We have a tendency to fuck over each other.
There it is.
Not yet alone the lower, allegedly lower forms of animal life.
Right.
So maybe that's a human trait. Just screw everything over. That ain't like you think it should be.
We talked about this a couple of episodes ago. I don't know the episode number, right? Are aliens here and why haven't they come to visit us? But would you drive all the way across your neighborhood to go to an outdoor outdoor potty that they never clean up? No, you got a toilet in your own part of the universe that you keep clean, you take care of it. So maybe they look at us the same way.
So Earth is just a big outhouse. that no one ever cleans?
Well, I guess if it's left up to us, it will be.
Well, you know,
You know?
it's getting there.
So,
You have a lot of weird stuff's going on.
yeah.
Like, it's been raining in LA for 2-3 months.
I know those people are losing their mind.
They have no idea what that's about.
Yeah, it's the blue Beamer and it's floating there. It's just floating by. Could you go get it, boy?
I was talking to my buddy who lives in LA. I said, so it's been raining. I said, have you guys been worried? He said, no, man, we live on a hill. So the water just
Yeah.
goes down and floods those poor people down there at the bottom. But yeah, that's been crazy. And then the Northeast with all the snow and all the winds and blizzard conditions and everything. You know, I mean, normally they have a winter, but it usually is not this severe nor lasts this long.
Yeah.
So, you know. But according to a lot of earthlings, there's no such thing as climate change.
Well, yeah. Well, the Earth is flat. There's no such thing as climate change. What's another one that they like to believe in?
The earth is round.
The Earth is round.
Well, some people believe the earth is pear-shaped. Some people believe the earth is round, and other people believe that it's flat.
The Earth is kind of oval shaped, and it does this
See? Now it's, see, there you go. Here's another.
because the Earth is alive. I mean, there's, earthquakes are the mantle, the crust, always moving. It's moving right now. Can you feel it? No, we can't feel it. That's how small and insignificant we are. We're freaking humans.
But the thing is, we live on one of these giant faults, and we're always in the back of our mind expecting to wake up to the big one.
Or not.
Or not, exactly. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like if you live in the Gulf Coast and around and the East Coast, then you know it's hurricane season. So,
Yeah.
all right. And then if you live in the Midwest, Tornado Alley, they call it, you're expecting tornadoes. Not necessarily that one will happen, but you know in that stretch, 70% of the tornadoes that happen in the world happen there. So here, we're just like, well, maybe today's the day the big one will happen, and we go on about our business because there's nothing you can do about it, and it could happen in winter, spring, summer, fall. You never know.
All you got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do is call, and I'll be there.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, and then they changed the Richter scale too.
Really?
Yeah, because now a 6 or 6.5 is like what used to be a 7 or 7.5 in the old scale. They've changed the scale. Because like back in the day, you would be talking to people, you know, and it's like, I have friends that are in San Francisco, and you know San Francisco, they got that, you know,
Right.
LA, that San Andreas and all them faults come together, etc. So, you know, you'd be talking to, yeah, man, they had a 6.5 earthquake, and, you know, so they're like, oh, man, get out of town, man. We have 6.5 on our breakfast cereal. You know, because San Francisco shakes all the time.
Right.
Right? So they just, you know, and now they've changed the scale, so at 6.5, because they were just talking about the one that just happened somewhere in Asia, I believe. And they said it's a 6.5, and it was just devastating. I mean, stuff was just, oh, yeah, I mean, it was a real shaker.
Like Turkey.
Yeah, and Turkey, and was it, what's next to Turkey?
Syria.
Syria. There you go. See, we geography major right there.
That one really, I don't know any of those people, but that kind of devastation, that really brought me down. You know,
Well,
politics aside, you know, I got this thing about bad things that happen to old folks and children. It's like, what did they do? Whose bad dream are they a part of? You know, that's. But in terms of earthquake, like you mentioned, what's the worst thing we have to worry about here? Major catastrophe, earthquake.
Earthquake.
They try to like slight tsunami in there, but tsunami can't figure out how to get up the water.
So tsunami is something that people on the coast really have to worry about.
Right, right.
But we got the peninsula, and the only way the tsunami is to have to just smooth down, cruise down through the Strait of Juan de Fuca and over through the San Juan Islands.
Make that right
and
turn.
by the time it made that turn, it got to Elliott Bay, it would be significantly less than it is on the coast.
Right, right.
You know, so, but I mean, you know, tsunamis can happen.
Well, I think they do
But-
because have you ever been like on the bay, looking at the silhouette of Seattle,
Oh,
and you see this water ripple come from nowhere? That could have been a tsunami,
But a very,
Seattle style.
but a very small one.
Well, Seattle style.
But no, but when you have what do you call them, king tides?
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of that happens inland.
Yeah, that is true.
Because the water goes way, way out, and then it comes back and it's higher.
Yeah, that's the moon was feeling itself.
So
that
that's
day.
kind of, yeah, maybe that's kind of a slow motion tsunami, you know, like, the water, because it was like when they were showing that one tsunami they had a few years back, the one in
Wait a minute.
somewhere.
I'll call you later, Obama. So,
So when it happened, it's like you're standing here, and then you see the water just go away. It's not just like, you know, where you got a little sand showing, but the whole, you know,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
like
yeah,
way
yeah.
out.
yeah.
All right, that's the time to get the hell to high ground. Don't wait for it to come back.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, because it went out, and I mean, you could see fish flopping around and stuff, and it just went out and out. You're seeing like boats that sunk, and it's way the hell out there. You know, everybody's sitting around, going, wonder where the water went.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. I'd be
well.
running up the hill.
Right.
you wonder where
Yeah.
the water went.
And then they had some buildings that were constructed to where they survived, so the people were up on the upper floors.
Yeah.
And they were taking video and what have you of the things that was going on, like yachts and fishing boats just rolling right past the window,
Yeah.
you know. But those are kind of one-offs. I mean, it's like that doesn't happen every time that happens, or the tsunami's not that big, but still it's something you have to worry about.
It's real. It's real.
Yeah, I mean, tens of thousands of people, you know, just gone. You know, that's kind of serious.
Let's pause for a second.
How's that refresh? Dig me up to talk to you.
All right, go ahead. You good?
So yeah. But anyway,
Phone booths, pro or con?
I'm pro.
At what?
Phone booth.
Oh. What position did you play?
you used to work for the phone company?
Hit the bottom. And he would go in, he'd take the receiver off the hook,
Right.
and you bang it on the bottom until your dimes and nickels and quarters came back.
So you weren't in it for the phone call, you were in it for the larceny.
Yeah.
Okay, Cliff, over to you.
That's true though. There were some where you could actually get money to fall out of them and stuff, you know. And then another thing, there was like, you know, when you're really little kids, and like a quarter is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because you're in elementary school, so you just go through and try to see if any dimes have fallen out in the little slot, and so you
Oh
can,
yeah,
Yeah.
because that does happen.
yeah, because you know what happens is, it's like, I think if they couldn't make the call, or if the call didn't go through or something, when you hang up, the dime would come back. Well, a lot of people would just hang up and walk out.
And forget about it.
And so you had like at Imperial Lanes we were talking about, you had all these phone booths, so you just go through and see if there's a dime in there or whatever,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Because we were, you know, and then actually, we were still during the time we were early teenagers. We still had that little source of
Perfecting the craft.
of generating revenue.
Well, I do recall my parents giving my sister a quarter or a dime just in case she got stuck out and needed a ride home.
Yeah.
Go to the phone booth,
Yep.
put that money in there.
And call home and try to explain why you not there for curfew.
And why you calling home when we know you left with this boy?
Yeah.
What did he do? Am I going to have to kill him?
Right.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, but I mean, there was a lot of times when the girls would go out on dates or whatever, and their parents would give them, you know, a quarter, a dime, or whatever. Well, now it's, how was it? I don't know. I haven't been in a payphone. How much does it cost to use a payphone if you can find one?
Last time it was up to 50 cents. Last
That's
time
what
I saw
I was thinking.
Where did you see one at?
it. No, I mean this was back years ago when they was fading out, and it was
He's
like,
got a
oh
pic-
look, one. It was
He's got a
50
picture of
cents.
one. It's not a phone booth. It's a phone kiosk, but it's a payphone.
Yeah, this is in Tequila.
In Tukwila, as one guy from not here called it.
Huh.
No, you have to look, open it up and look at the.
Wait, let's do this first.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they can see it.
You guys at home, or zoom in. Okay.
Now see, notice the phone. Notice how the receiver looks. It looked like somebody was banging on it trying to get the money to come down.
You got a caption for that?
Help.
I'm sorry, sir. You still on hold?
You're, you're the one. But yeah, I hear that there's a bunch of phone booths on Whidbey Island. I mean today, in 2023.
Well, that would make sense
Why? What?
because it's Whidbey Island.
Well, yeah, that's true. There's not, and that's true. There's not, certain parts are not really well populated. You have little cities and stuff, but
You trying to put me out of work? What the hell?
the phone guy.
That would make sense.
But yeah, they
But
you know.
maybe because you're saying there's more pot support in Whidbey Island?
Well, there was just a few places on the island that had rec stores. Yeah.
Now there's
and
more, huh?
There might. I haven't been there in a while, but yeah, the last
So-
5 years or so.
So
but-
they would need for more phone booths. Are there? Is
No.
there such thing as a burner phone booth?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Oh wait, okay, I made the call. They strike a match. And they go, well, we got a call from the phone booth that's supposed to be located at.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's just Asher, a burner. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cool. But no, now everybody has a phone, so they just kind of went by the wayside.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just really weird that, you know, years ago, that's what you did. You
Yeah.
just looked for a phone and.
Didn't that bug you when phones came into vogue? And I think my kids were in high school. Didn't it bug you to see a kid walking around with a phone?
Yeah. It bugs me. It
Yeah.
still bugs me today to
Yeah.
see everybody walking around with a phone.
Yeah.
Cause now you gotta have. Now see the thing. Here's something. The thing is, if you invented something, you know, that beeped and stuff, so that you would know that people are not paying attention and they're just walking around, you know, like that girl that fell into the fountain at the mall where she was reading her phone and stuff. So yeah.
Do tell.
So yeah, if you have, so you put a little beep around your neck. It's just like when you had these big trucks that got the back up, it's like beep, beep,
Right,
beep.
right.
So if you walked around, like the whole mall would be beeping, because ain't nobody paying attention to shit.
Right.
So like it just beep, beep, beep. But the thing is, that's what I mean, there's so many times where you be this close to somebody when they finally look up and see that they're about to run into you.
Right on the damn phone.
You know, and because they're you know, texting or
Right.
streaming or something, and then the other people got the things in their ears,
Like moi.
you know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the whole thing is, you know, it's just like that VR stuff, right?
Right.
I like to be aware of my surroundings. I ain't gonna put nothing on my eyes, and I can't see nothing here except I'm doing really well in this virtual world. I'm having a great time.
Right.
But in real life, you know, and then you got things in your ears. So you're basically it's sensory deprivation.
Yeah, it is. That VR stuff,
You know, but the
because I
phone.
don't feel grounded. I have one of those apps. You're in the space shuttle.
Oh my.
Where did I put my feet? I mean,
Well,
I need something
okay.
to stand on.
Well, when you're on the space shuttle, how did the Earth look? Did it look round or was it flat or?
It was so big, it kind of had a curvature, but I mean, it was like, it was big.
Well, they said you can see the curvature of the Earth from the top of the Burj Khalifa. Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building in Dubai.
That was my next guess.
Yes.
Oh,
This guy, okay, I'm the electrician, but you know you gotta have they got the big tower on top after they got a tower like an antenna.
oh yeah, right.
Somebody has to change and put in the light on top of that
Yes,
tower.
yes.
The dude that was up there said it's so high up you can look at the horizon and actually see the curvature of the Earth.
I'm willing to believe that.
And then at Bonneville Salt Flats,
Yeah,
you know, where they do the world land speed record stuff,
right.
it's all white except there's one black line in the salt flats. And it's so straight and it goes so far, theoretically they said that you can see the curvature of the Earth. But that's how far away, you know, that's how far vision is. But
Well,
on top of the,
I say this, I saw on TikTok, or I'd be looking at stuff, and you guys remember that plane, the Concorde,
Yeah,
that had the dip nose?
yeah.
They said you could see the curvature of the Earth when that was at its,
yeah,
when you're flying, and it was a commercial plane. They said you could see the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah. So that leads me to believe perhaps the Earth isn't flat.
So that gets back to some of your buddies, flat earthers. Well, first of all, do you believe the Earth is flat? One blank means yes, two blank means yes.
The earth is round.
All the pictures that you see from the alleged moon landing, see nowadays there's people that are so far away from that. And now people say, well, I don't know if they went to the moon or not or whatever. But the picture that they always show is the big blue marble.
Right?
That's the one, and they said from space, from on the way to the moon or on the way back, or even from the moon, you look back on the Earth, and it's that big blue marble, round.
So what happened when it came back from Mars?
Well, you would have to ask a robot because no humans ever went to Mars.
But
So they say.
But
well, we still have rovers on Mars.
Right. There's
They're
a
still-
robot.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
we
so
still
that's
have
it.
pictures.
What?
So what do the pictures look like on the way back from Mars?
It probably looked the exact same as that
Well, it's hard-
fake
it's-
ass marble.
It's hard to say because I never saw the pictures that the things that came back
Right.
from Mars took. I never saw any of those pictures.
Why not?
Well, I wasn't privy to that.
They didn't share those.
I did. I
So why
didn't.
did they share the moon and not Mars?
Well, I don't know. Oh, you mean pictures of Mars when they're going to it and coming from it?
It's just like the moon.
Yeah, but nobody landed on Mars and took pictures back, and then on the way they took.
Yeah, but
pictures.
that's what the rover's for, is to go take pictures, though.
Right, but it's
Yeah.
taking
That's why it
pictures.
doesn't make any sense.
But it's on the surface. It's just like if we're right here, we can't see the entire curvature of the Earth from standing
Right,
right
we're
here.
too
It
close
seems
to it.
flat.
Yeah.
Well, except Seattle, we got hills, but it
Yeah.
seems you're standing on a flat surface, so you can't really tell. So if the rover's roving around, it's going to take pictures of things that are in this perspective. It's going to take pictures from up here that they wanted us to see anyway.
Here's my question: is how do we know that there's no life on Mars or the moon? Because we didn't. Because it from what the camera supposedly showed us. My question is, what if alien life force came to Earth and they landed in the Sahara Desert? And they were like, well, looks like nobody's on this planet. It's desolate. Like, that's stupid to
And
me.
it's hot as hell.
I'm like, how you go to one spot and be like, well, it's an empty planet? No, you just in the desert.
Well, no, they allegedly orbited around it and they didn't see nothing.
I have no
you know.
belief.
I mean, hey, if there's people on the moon folks could be living underground. And
That's
they
the
just-
theory.
And they just didn't want to show themselves when them guys was up there hopping around in them big old funny looking suits and hitting golf balls and stuff.
Yeah.
And setting up flags that, in my opinion, are just laying down now. Because if you set a flag here and then you shoot a rocket and the rocket back flash and go like this, well, it's going to blow that down. So why wouldn't you put it way over there?
No, according to the video, there wasn't none of that. Remember that when it took off when the lunar lander took off from the moon,
Okay,
there was no, it was just sparks.
Well, who was taking those pictures?
The whatever camera they set up that
They
also
left-
watched the thing
They
go up.
left it. They left a.
I was like, word?
An unmanned camera, like when they imploded. When they implode buildings, they made
Right.
those disposable cameras and.
Right.
I remember the Kingdom. That was sweet.
But again, with that camera never came back to Earth.
Right, but
So that means that they either had a feed streaming and recording that, which that means they could do the same thing with Mars, or it was all fake.
What they do with the Mars rovers, they have two. They do, because they've been out there, what, 12 years now? 13?
Allegedly
Longer than
longer
that?
than that.
Long enough.
Allegedly. So they do
Rumor has it.
stream back. But,
And the same thing with like the Hubble telescope and then the
right,
new
right,
one,
right.
taking pictures of stuff way, way, way out there, and they still get it back here.
And that pisses me off too. They take these great Yin Louis pictures of deep space with colors and shit. I can't even on some nights get a clear vision of Mercury. It's always fuzzy. I don't care what I do.
Check your fire stick.
My fire escape?
Fire stick.
Oh.
You know that.
Don't use my camera, use my fire stick.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that way you got a picture of it on the screen.
That's clear.
That's cool. And a lot of those other pictures, they say they were colorized. Because
Yeah.
a lot of those,
Yeah.
cameras and the technology was sending back black and white photos.
That's the thing. That's the thing is, all these pictures that we get from space, they're all edited. NASA will tell you this is not the actual picture we had to enhance. We had to do all these things.
It's not the actual colors. They Ted Turnerize it.
Well, if they showed the actual picture, we would not be all that impressed. Because they would just look like 1968 home movies. They would be all not very
Hokey-jokey
colorized.
and stuff.
Yeah, not very clear.
See, but in theory, I feel like if that was their pictures back in the 60s and 70s, they should be better now.
That's what you would imagine. I would think.
But also, they said they lost the technology to go to the moon.
They lost the technology
Huh?
to go?
Well, yeah, they said they lost it. The configurations, all of that stuff, mysteriously went missing. So they can't go back to the moon if they wanted to because they don't have the technology. It's been lost.
Or the moon,
Well, they
Wow.
got it
moon
now.
people told them not to come back.
That's actually one of the things because when they're up there, they said on the tapes, they was like, they up here watching us. They said there was alien or spacecrafts and beings up there.
Well, now they're finally admitting that they've been here.
Yeah.
The
Well,
government, the Pentagon, everybody's finally releasing all these. Because the thing about it is, all these people that were saying they saw stuff,
yeah.
We're all
These-
crazy.
these were people trained to observe. I mean, these were like pilots, and these were
Mhm.
like navigators and people on
Right.
commercial
Right.
airliners, freight airliners, military
Right.
aircraft.
And not just Americans either. These
And
are people
yeah.
around the world.
And then there's also
Yeah.
been a lot of people that have been on Earth going, yeah, we saw these lights, and it was in formation. There was 3 of them, and then one of them went over here, and the other 2 just went pew.
Now, what I don't like is all the videos of all these lights in the sky, and every single one of them is fuzzy. I want to see a
Yeah.
clear video.
Me too.
Like,
I want to see
I wanna
one of the
see a clear
one of the
video of
cracks
Sasquatch
because
also.
they had like this one diamond shaped one or triangle shaped one,
Right.
and it was pretty clear, but it was still, you know. And
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, with the special effects technology that we have evolved from, you know, when they used to have the rocket going across the screen, they had the fire coming out and the fire would be going up and the rocket's moving this way.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that was all special effects back in the
The
day.
flame curved.
Right. The thing's moving this way and the flame is
Flames
going up
curling up.
when it should be going straight up. And then and then Rocket Man. Remember that series called Rocket Man from like the 30s, I think it was?
When he had the knobs or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Slow, fast, up, down. And I'm thinking, why would you need a down? You know, I mean, gravity gonna pull you down,
Well-
so you don't need a down selection. You just need up.
It was a CD, control down. Because you're coming down.
But yeah, but I
Okay,
mean,
you
you know,
control-
you
control
have all
it.
this stuff, all of these special effects and everything. So people were making fake, you know, like they take a little rocket-looking thing that
Right.
they made up
Right.
and put it on a fishing pole and
Right.
put some
Somebody-
line down and just move it around like this.
Right,
And
right.
then they said, and it took off. They go.
And it'd be flying forever.
Shoo.
And it'd be the same background. Then they cut.
I know.
Buck Rogers, I will kill you. Guy looked like, what's his name? Yeah, him. I will kill you, Buck Rogers. Then they showed it again.
Yep.
Same background.
It was all misdirection.
But like I say, it was. I mean, you know,
Yeah, but what is that, the 50s?
Right, and they
in the
they had the
40s,
technology.
Flash Gordon.
They had the technology, but they were misdirecting the people. In fact, they had the technology,
They are the, who are the they? The thems.
the government.
The government, you know who
Okay.
they are.
Okay, but
Apparently,
that's
they
their
say
job,
a lot.
is to always confuse the citizens of the country. That's their job. You think
Yeah.
they're here to help us do anything that's good for us?
That's an oxymoron. I'm
Yeah.
with the government. I'm here
You're
to help
calling
you.
them moron.
Not just
I'm
a regular
I'm a
moron.
street philosopher.
Oxymoron.
I'm a street philosopher. I ain't no
It's an oxymoron.
oxymoron. Ain't no oxyclean.
Oxy.
Ain't no oxygen.
Yeah.
So
so do you guys think that there was even more advanced technology back in the day, like in history? Or you think
so.
we're at the pinnacle, like we've done the best we've ever been able to do?
I don't think so.
Well-
I think we're approaching where we were before in the past. In other words, it was more advanced in the past. It's a circular thing. We're getting back there again.
Well,
down here
yeah.
when you fall.
Are there stairs? You know, I mean.
Oh.
But no, I mean the thing is, you have stuff that was that they carbon dated or whatever. That's 5, 6, 8, 1,000 years old. That's still standing. Kingdom only lasted 20-something years.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, the technology.
There is
There's a
better
whole- there's a-
technology.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said,
Um,
I think we're approaching.
We
We're
are.
going back.
We
Cyclical.
can rebuild body parts. We can.
Mm-hmm.
There are cure for things, which if the money wasn't a part of the equation, we'd have a cure for everything
Well, yeah.
because of technology.
That might be.
Somebody's got to get paid to do it.
But you also have to remember, research causes cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's a lot of things we have now that they didn't have back then.
Right.
And
Right.
there's a lot of things they had back then that we can just go, here, take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
Okay, but how much of that is human beings got their damn hands where they shouldn't be? Killer bees. There is no natural killer bee. There was a breed of bee
Mm-hmm.
that that escaped from somebody's lab.
They was trying to make super soldiers or super workers.
Yeah. So
Like-
they escaped, got on a boat.
Oh yeah, that orange and black bee, that killer. What
And
came
it
out after COVID?
It came up. It came up.
Oh, before COVID, they've killer bees. have
It
been
came
around.
up from
Was it
South
Argentina
America.
or somewhere?
yeah.
Venezuela.
You know.
Yeah, it came up and then it just worked its way up, and then they couldn't kill him. Oh, you're talking about the murder hornets?
Murder hornets.
that's
that's what
some
I'm
bitches.
thinking about.
No, killer bees was way back in the day.
Yeah,
You
killer
remember
bees,
killer
yeah.
bees was in the what 70s?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They've been around a long time.
And so,
They're on
but
Social
they,
Security
but they,
now.
yeah, probably, but they got rid of a bunch of them, and apparently now they're because you don't hear much about them. Now you hear about murder hornets.
Yeah.
Who eat bees and destroy hives and stuff like that. So the thing is, there's so much stuff that is advanced and stuff that's behind, and history goes on. I mean, how can people that are stuck on Earth, they never been in the air, but they make these gigantic pictures that you can only see from space.
Exactly. Exactly.
Giant birds, and then
I've always wondered about them
Yeah.
them crop like
crop circles.
When-
Yeah.
whatever makes those. I'm like, how can you even tell what you're doing?
Yeah.
It's so big and you're down here.
Unless you're far away.
Yes, you're looking
Where
back
you
down.
can see.
Yeah. And then a lot
And
of
you're doing it with the laser, just
and then there's a lot of hieroglyphics that they finding in caves, and they got people with helmets on.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
yep, seen them.
That show, what's it called? Ancient Aliens.
Ancient aliens.
And
Yeah.
so they're saying these people had to have help to do this. It's like the pyramids, right? They got these big, gigantic stones set in place, no mortar, and they got the quarry was many, many miles away. So you had to get from there to here. Then you had to have I guess it's geometry
Yeah.
knowledge
Yeah.
to make the pyramid perfect. And it is.
And it is perfect.
So, I mean,
There's two lines of thinking. One is aliens have been here, and we know they have,
or they're still
and they've
here.
given us technology, and maybe they've gone away to see what we do with it. The other line of thinking is Darwin and Murphy, them motherfuckers, are going,
I know.
watch this.
Watch
Give them
this.
this technology. Watch him kill himself.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
You know?
watch what happens when I ring this bell.
You know?
And damn dog's like,
Right.
and then, yeah, and then all of a sudden, that's the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm sitting down under an apple tree. Apple hits me on the head. Gravity.
Gravity. Yeah, right. That's
Write that down.
Come on.
pow.
Yeah.
Oh, gravity. Yeah.
And I mean, you have all these different scientific discoveries, and then you still have the main theory, relativity.
Right.
The main theory. It's like, can't nobody prove it, but it makes sense to physicists.
Yeah.
The rest of the people are going, what?
Well, remember when we were kids, what was the smallest thing ever? An atom, right? Now the technology got better, and they started throwing atoms in a circle at 7 gazillion miles an hour and smashing them.
Mhm.
And they're back. Oh, so the atom has parts to it. So now
Yeah.
it's particle.
Quarks.
Yeah, quarks. Yeah.
Quarks. Those things.
So now, and they're strings.
Yeah.
So, damn.
Well, just like atomic weaponry. It's like, wow. Instead of using this for good, we can kill a bunch of people with this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it amounted to. Because, and it's like, nuclear power. Oh, it's nuclear power. No, it's not. It's steam power. Just like if you go over here and heat this up, it's just that it's superheated.
Yeah.
It gets hot, stays hot, what have you. But if one little valve doesn't open or something gets clogged, Then you have 3 Mile Island. You have Chernobyl.
And
You have all of these, and you could do the same thing, but the difference is, it doesn't release a bunch of pollutants into the air, like coal fire, but it's the same situation. You just heat water up, the steam turns a turbine, and
Right.
turbine is connected to a generator, and it generates
Electricity.
So
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, something you
So-
said earlier is really stuck with me. They lost the plans to go to the
the
moon.
technology, yeah, isn't that
Who
crazy?
admitted that?
Somebody at NASA. It was on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Somebody was doing a documentary. They were doing something on the moon landing and stuff like that. So they went and was like, "Yeah, we just want to figure out how to." And dude was like, we actually don't have the technology anymore. It's gone missing, so we actually can't go if we wanted to."
Why
And I was like, "What? Now, what?"
Okay, that's
why
just...
didn't they ask those young? Well, actually, they were older by that time. Why didn't they ask those black women to redo what they did?
Yeah,
No,
watch
right.
the movie. Shit.
No.
But no, that's who they were. They were computers, and they I guess it was John Glenn, first one to orbit. Shepard went up. Yeah, John Glenn. They said John Glenn would not go up into space until that one woman
Yeah, check the numbers.
looked over
Yeah.
and checked the numbers.
Right.
I'm like, that's amazing. That's a whole lot of pressure I wouldn't want to be under.
No, I mean, that's just... But lost...
But they lost it. Well, the thing is, though, it's like when you have a bunch of stuff on your computer and you don't have it backed up and you hit delete by accident, it's gone.
Nope. I don't buy it.
So,
Okay, you don't buy it. See, that's a start.
No, but I'm just
That
saying.
shit doesn't make
No,
sense.
I'm just saying.
I don't buy it either.
I'm just saying it could probably happen, but if it's the government, you probably got redundant shit. Backup after backup after backup, so you don't lose a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, how do you lose the
Or
ability to go
maybe
to the moon?
maybe one of the NASA guys took it home, like some of these senators and ex-presidents. They might have just took it's
My question-
It's sitting in the garage in a box.
My question is, what exactly was lost? Like, okay, we still know how to do spaceships,
Right.
so they can go up. So what? We lost the map of how to get there.
Yeah,
Like
well,
what? Like
yeah.
what exactly is lost?
Well, the thing is, you have
Yeah.
to have timing, and you have to have all those little numbers, because there's times where you have the Earth and the Moon are closer,
Right.
and so you would want to be able to go to the Moon when it's closer than when it's far away. So there's might be a lot of little numbers they could have lost, but with the technology
How?
that we have,
How could they?
how could they lose it? They should
And now it goes from that to,
It should be-
well, there's nothing at the moon, and it's so expensive, no reason to go. So that's like, oh, we lost the technology. Who wants to go there anyway? It's
Right.
like, see, y'all playing.
But
Yeah.
But no, but now they're getting the new rocket ready to go to the moon again, and they were showing they got different little, more flexible. Remember how
Oh,
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
bouncing around at them big old heavy space? They got a lighter version.
Yeah, some of them
and
pretty
it's
cool
more,
looking, yeah.
More flexible that they
Went to the club back in
and,
the day.
and so you can come
Just
right up.
bounce on in.
You can, yeah,
You can fly on there.
you can come right off the this shuttle and just cruise right on into the
Yeah.
club. Yeah, they look
Float
nice.
across the room.
But the thing is, they got this new rocket, and supposedly they're gonna go to the south pole of the moon.
And they're looking for water.
I don't know.
Santa Claus.
They were saying that the Easter Bunny hangs out on the moon. No, they were saying that they found, the rover found traces of what may have been water on Mars.
Right.
So now they're going to go to the moon, to the South Pole, to see if there's water or any kind of, I don't know,
Life force.
life form or any kind of residue or something
Yeah.
left, right?
Yeah.
So,
All right, let's wrap it up.
Okay, so wrap it up there.
Okay, so thanks for joining us for another stimulating round of conversation with some old black men. I, your co-host, David Harold Dudley III, aka Sweet Sunny D, aka Baker Man.
Hey, low key, I heard his wife call him Baker today. It's really a nickname.
I don't know what. I don't know. I've been baked a few times, but nobody calls me that. But anyway.
Well, there's a segment on the history of Baker.
Anyway, Baker Mayfield? Oh,
Baker Dudley.
Huh?
Baker Dudley.
Oh, really? I missed that one. Anyway, I'm Cliff Barnes, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys. Well, actually, you all will see us, because we can't see through, anyway, it's technology I don't want to get into. Anyway, I'm the real Cliff Barnes, and we'll see you next time.
I'm your street philosopher, Gary Green, and get a hold of the producer. He'll tell you how. What do you want us to talk about? Ain't nothing we can't talk about.
That's true. Unless it's in
And
a
nothing we
different
won't talk about.
Unless it's in a different language.
And if you really love us, you can always throw some money that's sitting around clouding up your guest pass.
That's right.
If you send too much, we'll send it back.
We won't. He lying.
Or not.
or not.
Well, first of all, you have to establish what is too much. So
We'll be the.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
you have to establish these things.
All right. Ready.
Okay.
Clear.